goal of this restoration. As much as possible, all the parts will be cleaned up, restored, and brought back to its former glory. And there's some strange material that they put inside the interior, something in there that we are excited to open up and discover what it is that makes up the whole weight so excessive. Oh, now I get it. This video will be divided into two parts. The first segment will be about the retrieval and the day it was rescued from a shelter where it was abandoned for 11 years or more. And on the second part, we will do a bike check. We will be checking the bicycle's current condition to see if it is worth the time that we'll be pouring in the couple of days from now. So please stay tuned for that part, and I hope you will stick around until the end of the video. And if ever you are new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also the notification bell for you to be notified whenever we'll be posting new videos and the updates of these restorations soon. Buwaon ang pilin na yun, no? Kata ka ito sa loob. Madara ni mo kuan para makabidyo. Yun niya mo, mudagan ko padong ato kuhae ang kuhae ako ning ipalugusong adto. Saning karon. So this is the bicycle that we rescued a while ago, and we're going to have a quick bike check to determine if the bike is still worth the restoration effort that we'll be pouring in a couple of days from now. And I did initial check a while ago. I put on the rims, I mean the wheel set at the rear part of the bicycle because it was taken off for a couple of years already and it was abandoned. The owner told me that it was abandoned for like almost years already. So the bicycle is made up of steel and some parts are very rusted. So this is a lady bike and then we dive into the size of it. It still bears the sticker. The size of the sticker is 22 and some other information which are unfortunately I can't read Japanese, but anyway, just it's probably the basic information of the bicycle's frame. Now this is the registration sticker of the bicycle because in Japan you really need to, it's part of the law, they need to register their bicycle before purchasing it. And now we're going into the first part of the cockpit, which is the handlebar, and the handlebar is made up of steel, so this is pretty durable anyway. The rust didn't go through and we're just hoping that the rust didn't go under the handle grip, but I think there's no hole in it, so probably the rust is just outside. So this portion here, the rust didn't penetrate that area. Now, brake lever is made up of hard plastic, so this is pretty strong anyway. And then obviously the cable, the brake cable will be thrown away. As you can see, this is already disintegrates on its own, so I'm going to throw it away. And the stem is made up of aluminum, but half of it, the one that will be inserted towards the head tube, is made up of steel, and it is unbranded, meaning that the bike, when they bought it, it was just the stock that's been used, and so now it is rusted. And I hope that it's not frozen in there, so we will not be having a hard time to pull it off when we start to clean it and polish it. And now going into the saddle, I think the saddle is made up of cheap rubberized cover, and but it's just very comfortable when you're riding short distances, when you'll be hauling those groceries from the grocery or the supermarket. This is well built for the geometry of women's anatomy. This is designed for those type of riders, but men can also benefit from this type of saddle. So we're going down into the seat post, and as you can see here, I noticed that there's a little crack. We're hoping that it's just the outer layer of this seat post, and we are also hoping that this is not seized in there, because probably a seat post would be a little longer. So hopefully by the time that we will try to untighten this one, now it's very rusted, so couldn't determine it right now. And the spring. And so again, the goal of this restoration would be very budget friendly, and as much as possible all the parts will be cleaned up, restored, and brought back to its former glory. And now going into the drivetrain, this type of plastic probably will be installed back, but right now all the bolts and mounts will either be replaced if we can see some replacements, but it's hard to find something like this, the bolts that would hold it and to replace it. So probably we'll be just repaint it or just be cleaning it up and put it back as it is. And probably we're not going to change the chain anyway, because this type of chain still strong, and we will try to clean this up, soak it in solution for the rust to break down. And the crank arm, the crankset, and I tried, it didn't budge at first, so probably the problem lies in the bottom bracket. And by the way, the pedal is made up of plastic. There are signs here. It's a cat eye. This type of pedals are cheap anyway, but we will try hard to put this back again and to restore it, clean it up. It sounds still okay, and we will try to, if ever some of the ball bearings are loosened and rusted, try to change it up with new bearings. And as I've mentioned a while ago, maybe we will try to overhaul the bottom bracket. I have some packs of ball bearing which I can use for this. Now going into the wheel set. The wheel set, the rear, and then the front wheel set. As I checked on this, it feels so strange because the wheel set feels so heavy, especially at the back. It is made up of aluminum. Initially, when I lifted this wheel set a while ago and tried to install it back here temporarily, it feels so weird because the wheel, the overall weight of this is pretty heavy, and just by the fact that this wheel set is made up of aluminum. But now I think because of the type of the tire that they installed in it, and there's some strange material that they put inside the interior, perhaps something in there that we are excited to open up and discover what it is that makes up the whole weight so excessive. And what takes up the weight also is this drum brake that being installed. And then later we're going to clean this drum brake, but if it's really not that advisable, then we would just throw it away and then scrap this thing off and then replace it with a new one, because brakes are very crucial, including the front brake. But I think with this caliper type of brake, this thing can still be used, and it's pretty strong anyway, unlike the one that is used at the back, which is a drum brake. This one is pretty rusted already. Probably the thing that would hold the wood clamp, the brake shoe of this, will not work anymore, so this will be sold as a set, so nobody will be probably selling some part, like for example the brake shoe. So this is cheap anyway. Brakes are very crucial for riding and for your safety, so probably at the back we will be changing that one and we'll be throwing that away. But this one will just be changing the brake shoe of this. And what's good about this is that it has lighting system. We're going to refurbish this part right here, the dynamo, so that we can have light and then reinstall it back. And this is very important, especially in Japan, the original owner, because it is in their law that they need to install some lighting system in their vehicle, especially bicycle. And of course they couldn't run without brakes also. Some people who own fixed gear, they would also put some brakes on it because it's a must. In here the hubs are standard and but still durable. Oh, now I get it. They're not installing a proper interior here because there is no interior valve. So I think they are inserting some sort of replacement for a tire tube. Very clever, but it's cheap way of doing that. But what you will be sacrificing the rims because you are just running flat with this technique. So probably they are just inserting some sort of rubber inside in there, and so later we will be updating you what type of material they are inserting inside here, just as an alternative for a tire tubes. And finally, and the last part will be to check all the head parts and then the integrity of the frame. Sticker here says we can, yes, we can restore you. What I noticed are just rust that are probably not seriously damaging the frame, just like here. It's mostly at the rear end of the bike. Here the seat stays, for example, that has very visible damages of the rust, but I think it's not that serious because it's not going inside. It didn't bore much into the frame, so the chain stays, for example, has a lot of rust, and the deposits, it's eating it up on the other side. And here also, maybe because of the rain and the years within when it was abandoned in the shelter that where they stashed it in. Now in the fork is okay, and this one is pretty strong type of fender holder, or what's the name of this. Somebody will comment down, name some of the parts in this bike. So probably this fender can still be refurbished and restored, although it is made up of plastic, but this plastic can still be used. We'll just be repainting this and then sand it a little, and the fender at the back. But this one doesn't come with the holder anymore. The fender mount where it should be connecting towards the rear axle, and the rear hubs installed with Shimano hubs. These are the non-series and just the standard type of hubs, and I think also on the front. And thankfully the spokes and then the nipple, I think they are still okay. They can still be used. There's no pretty much about the wheel set can still be used, and aside from the tire also, which has really strange thing that is being inserted in there, and we'll be updating you later on with that. Whatever it is inside, including the front wheel set, we will still be using that one. And if ever there's a bend in there, the brake lining is still okay. Also at the back, so either we will be using a caliper later on, or we will stick with the drum type of brake at the rear. I hope you would suggest in the comments below. I'm hoping to solicit some advices from our viewers, and I'm soliciting some proper advice or suggestions from you, from people who might have longer experience between caliper brakes and the drum brakes. Which one is better? Which one should I be replacing at the rear, especially at the rear, because I'm going to use that later on. But at the back, I'm guessing, and I'm soliciting some proper advice, either a drum brake or a caliper brake for this one. So I think I wrapped it up. So that wraps it up from there, and we will just give you, so I think that wraps it up. So I guess we summed up the general information and the state of the bicycle and all the necessary things that we needed to know before we go to the proper restoration of the. There will be more updates about this bicycle soon, and all the other bicycles that we rescued a while ago. And be sure to subscribe in this channel so that we will be updated about the restoration proper and all the other updates. So be sure also to click on the notification bell for you to be notified whenever we will be posting new content in this channel. So thank you very much for watching this until the end.